welcome to a very exciting edition of For the Birds with Richard Cole. It is great to have you back in the studio, Richard.
Oh, it's nice to be back in here.
It's been a big summer for you, right? Lots of travels.
Lots
and
of
so,
travel, yeah.
now, but you're back in the saddle on a very exciting show. So we're going to see the calendar photos.
Is an understatement, yes.
Yeah. Have you actually seen the calendar yet?
Yes.
Very good. Yes, we won't give away any secrets. Richard also has some important information about birding in general, right? That we're going to talk about during the show.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. We're going to talk about one of the birds in the calendar.
Yeah.
That's a little different. And some of the things that this time of year brings about the birds leaving, and may be more or less activity at your feeders, and some stuff about hummingbirds.
Yeah, so we are going to show you a map of hummingbird migration. It is so exciting right now at my hummingbird feeders because it's so much action. They are knocking each other out of the way. They are feeding so much. I've never seen it more exciting at the feeders.
It's a good time of year. If you're in the same with us, and a lot of people in the south, up north, you're a little lacking on hummingbirds now because they've started to pull out, especially if you're in southern Canada.
Yeah.
And in northern U.S., they're starting to move on down here. So we're starting to get the wave, and being in the south, we're going to get all the birds that are north of us have to come through here to get to where they're going.
Yeah,
so we'll see a lot more this time of year, and then they'll be gone.
And we're going to tell you a lot more about that. And then we're going to have some tips about the fall slowdown, that kind of thing. Yeah. I want to encourage you, as always, to ask your questions of our resident birding expert. He knows all about birds, so please make this interactive. I'd love it if you would share the broadcast out, because this is a really exciting broadcast where we show you the calendar. Those of you who know your pictures made the calendar, you'll see which month and that sort of thing. So I know you're excited about it. I really would love to see your comments. Tell us where it is you're watching from. Tell us what you think about the pictures. I'm sure that you're going to love them. And, I love when people just encourage each other. I love to make this a sense of community. And, of course, our great resource, Richard Cole, is here to answer those questions. So, without further ado, do you want to take a look at those pictures?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Look at this cover.
Yeah.
That is magnificent. Isn't this the first time a hummingbird has made the cover? I don't remember ever seeing a hummer on the cover. Do you? Not sure?
Not right offhand, no. That may be.
Lots of goldfinches.
Right. And I like the fact that that's not a male in full plumage either, that it's something a little different. A lot of times the people won't see the male ruby-throated or whatever with their gorget showing and full color, and that's a female. So that's just nice to see.
Yeah, it's by Becky.
Or an immature male.
It's a ruby-throated hummingbird by Becky Kemp. Congratulations, Becky. That is so great to make the cover. You know what I love about this picture? So I love everything about the picture. I love the background. I love the color of the flower. But I love that there's a little ladybug on that. Like the details. It's just amazing, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
So congratulations, Becky. And moving on, look at this for January, a white-throated sparrow by Tate Graham. And I love this because you don't often see sparrows in the calendar.
No, you don't. This is not a first for the calendar, but we're trying to show some of the other birds that are common birds to people, and our customers are taking pictures of. And that's appropriate for the time of season and the rain. I like the arrangement.
We love winter pictures. We never have enough winter pictures, but I love a couple of things about this. I love the little yellow right over its little beak. That's so distinctive and cute. It almost looks like it's got a mask on. And I love how fluffed up it is because it's trying to keep itself warm, right?
That's actually true. Yes, it's exactly what it's trying to do. We'd be fluffed up too if we were sitting out in that weather right now.
Absolutely. It's so amazing that the birds can adapt to that. I absolutely love it. And so now we're going to go to February. And so this is a male and female house finches, and this is by Anita D. Nicola. And what a beautiful picture.
Perhaps a happy little couple there. Don't know.
Perhaps.
And of course, the male there is a nice looking bird. He gets confused a lot.
Does it?
for a purple finch.
Oh, that's right. And
Yeah,
you've
and
done
we talk about that
videos on
occasionally
this
because
before.
when you're first getting into looking at birds and trying to distinguish them, you'll see a male house finch and say, "Oh, this is a purple finch." Well, I did the same thing when I first started many years ago, until I got lucky and saw them side by side. I said, "Oh, and how do you not tell them apart?" Well, it's easy to mix them up when you're just getting started, and that's okay. But that's the male house finch, and it has an interesting story too that. It's now ubiquitous across the United States. It's everywhere, and really, it's a southwestern bird.
Really?
And
It's just adapted everywhere, huh?
oh, it got imported to New York, and they were selling those little guys as Hollywood finches
Oh.
until they got busted by the feds. And that was back in, I believe, back in the
Yeah.
20s or something. And they got loose. They turned all their birds loose before the police showed up.
I remember this story
And then they
now.
started spreading, and now here we go.
Yeah,
They're
look
all
at
over.
them go.
Yeah.
And they've adapted. And Mary Alice Grimm-Trumbull is watching from Texas City, Texas, I believe. So thank you for watching today. Yeah, Texas City, Texas. And
A lot
I
of
love,
good hummingbirds there,
thank
too.
you, Mary
Yeah.
Alice, for commenting. And I know you're a nature lover. So let's go on to our next one. And congratulations to everyone who made this calendar. This is a stunning calendar. A yellow-bellied sapsucker and a downy woodpecker.
Yeah.
And this is by Trudy Flowers.
This is another interesting picture, and I think our crew has done a really good job this year selecting some things because it's not like the absolute gorgeous, stunning male in perfect light. No, we have some females in here. We have some
Yeah.
birds, as you're going to see
Yes.
mostly on your feeder, and the downy looking like a downy, and the yellow-bellied sapsucker maybe like, whoa, what is that bird? No, it's yellow-bellied sapsucker. It's just the plumage is a little on the rough side.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's in mold, or it's young bird.
Yep.
So it's like, you have to look twice, but yeah, it's distinctive marking still.
Yeah.
And,
And so it's so fun to see them together like that
Yes.
on a feeder.
It's
I
good to
just
see them for
enjoy that.
size too.
Yes. Yeah. So you can compare how, because you can think they look just alike. At least
Yeah.
I can, not you. You wouldn't.
But it took a long time before I didn't. You start looking at all the
Yeah.
woodpeckers in a way, some of them look very similar until you start learning the little fine
Yeah.
markings.
Okay. Let's see April.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of bright colors in this, like bright red in this one by Linda Robbins, of course,
Yeah.
the Northern Cardinal. And they almost always make, the calendar because
Yeah, well,
these calendars, I mean,
Yeah, they're
the
gorgeous
Cardinals are
birds, yeah.
stunning.
And that one's got
But I
its
love
top
it with-
knot standing straight up
Yeah,
too.
and I
That's
love it with
nice.
the red flowers around.
Yeah.
Just that green and red together. And like you said, this cardinal looks like he just got ready to have his picture taken,
That's right.
doesn't he?
That's right. We had to pay that cardinal a lot of money for
Yeah,
that pose.
I love when you all get pictures so close in these birds' faces, you can imagine what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I love that. So that's a beautiful picture for April and totally depicts the spring. Now, a bird you have never seen in the Coles calendar before, the European starling, photographed beautifully by Tim Bowser, who won first place in our photo contest for this.
Thank you, Tim.
Yes, yes.
And I know a lot of people saying, oh, ooh, starlings.
Yes.
But they're here in this country. One of the reasons they're here in this country is because people thought they were beautiful.
Yeah.
They have such a strong singing vocabulary. Their voice is great. People love them. Now, of course, you have a lot of them. They get a little irritating, but
They can eat up all your food fast.
I mean, they're here now. There's nothing we're going to do about them. Get used to it. Enjoy
Yes.
them as best you can. And they are nice-looking birds. They're handsome-looking birds.
And look at the colors on this. So I always look at a starling and think it's just black, but I love the way the sun's reflected and shows you the many colors, and it almost looks iridescent. It's
And
gorgeous.
the spots and others changes during the
Right.
season. So it'll give you two different looks during the season. And yeah, it's a starling, but hey, that's part of our backyard.
Yeah.
That's part of backyard bird feeding. So there they are.
Oh,
Nice
so
picture.
Tim Bowser said, both the starlings and my first appearance in the contest. LOL. Yes, absolutely. And
Right.
thank you, Tim. Thanks for entering. So we'll go back, and it does seem like Tim said that he got the feeder for the bluebirds, but the starlings
course.
went after
Of
the food.
course,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, and June, this is by Al Sunt, and he won second and third place in our Coles calendar contest. And So this picture of an American goldfinch, so pretty.
It is pretty.
Yeah.
I think that's a favorite bird for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just so striking, that yellow color.
The goldfinch is
Yeah.
always in the calendar.
And of course, in the West, you have the lesser goldfinch. It's still a pretty bird.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's so pretty with those two colors too. I love that. And such a beautiful depiction of the summertime,
Yes.
which is what we look for always. We want, and speaking of a great depiction of summertime, this one is so perfect by Lydia Lively, and it's a wren just taking a nice cold shower in the summer.
Yeah. And we said wren because with it being totally drenched, there's a possibility that it's another type of wren, but we're pretty sure it's a Carolina wren.
Yeah.
And
So cute. I love that picture, and you can just see the
Just-
water, that stop motion. Wow.
yeah. And a happy bird cooling down.
Absolutely. So let's go to August. Another,
mean-
and who has been captivating us all August? These ruby-throated hummingbirds. This is by Tate Graham. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, in
And-
the West, we're going to see some different, a black chin hummingbird look very much like that in the West. They're, the hummingbird of the West, some people call them.
Right.
And they look very, very similar. And here again, this is not an adult male in full breeding plumage. So it's nice to see that, because that's mostly what we're going to see.
Yeah, and I love the colors of this.
Yeah.
You just picture this beautiful garden
Yeah.
there, and hummers just make your garden even more beautiful. And we're going to hear more about the hummers coming up later in the show. And this is a brown thrasher by Michelle McNeil for our, a little bit of fall starting to
Yeah.
get cooler. We don't often see a brown thrasher in the calendar. I don't know that we've ever seen one before.
Surely we have. I mean, it's a
don't
stunning
know.
bird. And
It
it's
really
a very
is.
handsome bird. They're striking, and they're nice-sized birds, and there are a lot of them around, so they're not rare,
Yeah.
but just a very pretty bird.
Yeah. And then in October, we have seen so many like scary birds in October. This is a little different. I love the pumpkin. And this
Yeah.
is a tufted titmouse by Becky Kemp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and titmouse, I guess, is generally going to be high on the list of the first bird to show up to a feeder.
Really?
They're very smart at finding food and adapting to feeders, and a lot of times that'll be the first bird that'll show up in
And I
many
love,
places. Yeah.
don't you just love that it has the seed right in its mouth?
And
Love that she got it
yeah,
mid-bite.
they're good at holding the seed. They'll take the seed like that and put it between their feet
Really?
and reach down and peck it on the limb. Yeah. And then hold it down like something, like a fish or something.
Yeah.
And then peck on it.
I haven't seen that. And let's go to November. We had a
Yeah.
few beautiful pictures of
Yeah.
Baltimore Orioles. They are so photogenic and beautiful. This one's by Kathy Diamantopoulos, and she has entered and been in our calendar, I think, many times. But what a stunning photograph,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's another bird that's just, it's pretty. It's just a plain,
Yeah.
it's striking, and you can't, you look at it and say, oh. First time I saw one, it just startled me. It's just like,
Yeah.
what is that? I didn't know much about birds, but
Yeah.
I saw that when I finally figured out what it was. It was nice.
Such a beautiful depiction for fall, too. But
Yes.
we had a few of these, so big congratulations to Kathy because there were several really stunning
Yes.
pictures. Yeah, we had so many good pictures this year. And for December, you cannot beat this feeding of cardinals together. It just looks like holidays, right?
Another happy couple. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
And so you've got the two females and then one little bird that's underneath that. I don't even know what that bird is, but this is Northern Cardinals by Trudy
Yes.
Flowers. One male, two females, and I'm not sure what that little extra bird is, but it's so cute. I love the snow on their beaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just feel the cold of winter as you look at that picture, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for pictures that epitomize the seasons with birds.
And backyard bird feeding,
Yes,
of course.
absolutely. And you do not have to be a professional for this. And this one's a chickadee by Kelly Crone. Look at the little chickadee just out there in the cold.
That's probably probably the second quickest bird to a feeder is a chickadee.
Is it?
Because there's a lot of chickadees, there's a lot of titmice, and they're always at feeders. We see them a lot in yards around in wide areas, and they're just kind of cute. It's got a cute little name.
Yeah, I love that
chickadee.
little face too. So Tim said, it was so funny, Tim Bowser says, I didn't even see that other bird until you pointed it out. And what's funny about that is I've seen these pictures again and again and again, and this is the first time I've seen that one bird, because your eye just goes to the cardinals. They're so pretty and bright and red, and so your eyes just go there. But that's one thing that's so cool about seeing these pictures and looking at them again and again is all the different nuances that you'll see as you look at them more and more. And I can't get enough of looking at them.
You have to look closely.
Yes. So we spent so much time with that. We're not going to have a lot of time for the rest of our show, but we are going to have more pictures at the end, and we're going to show you a video with all the semifinalist pictures at the end as well. But right now, I think we've been doing Cole's story. We love to hear your Cole story. And Tim Bowser did one of these with us too, and that was fantastic. But Caroline and her mother, Caroline Ross and her mother, Lauren Ross, interviewed with me they wrote in and said, how much they enjoyed having the contest for Caroline. But then we just asked them about their Cole story. And anyone who would like to be part of that, please just message us, through Facebook in a comment or through Messenger. And we'll get together. We could do it via Zoom, or if you live in the Atlanta area, perhaps come into the studio. But let's see Caroline's story. I really am excited for you to see this, Richard.
Okay.
You don't normally see teenagers this interested in birds, and I just saw it and I said, let's try this one. It helped too that it's bright, so I just noticed it more out of some of the other food that was available, and we just got it and tried it.
It attracts a lot of birds, and it keeps away the squirrels and the other animals that you don't want eating it.
And it was fantastic. It brought different birds than we've seen before, so we just stuck with it. And it's been great.
And a lot of the finches love it.
The hot is very important to me because I know squirrels do not like it. And where we are, we have a wood line and there are a lot of squirrels. It allows her to still put bird food out and feed the birds, and allows me to watch the birds because I obviously cannot take photos anywhere near what Caroline takes. But I will tell you, it hasn't brought any other wildlife besides birds.
I was looking up birds, common birds that you'll find in spring and summer, and I came across cedar waxwings, and they were just so pretty, and I always wanted to see one. I was just looking up information about them, and it just came up these cedar waxwings are on the floor, and it's they're drunk and they wobble weird and stuff. So I looked at YouTube to see if that's true, and I just found the channel. And then when I went to the website to look at other stuff like bird food and stuff, I found the contest. I was just standing outside another day, just taking my pictures I do every morning, and it just flew right up, and they were feeding berries to each other. I got pictures of them with the berries in their mouths too, and they were very pretty. And I was concerned once I saw they could get drunk, because I did not want to see them hurt or anything. They do a dance or something, and how they feed each other them. And I just thought it was really neat.
I love watching the videos. I've went back past years and watched some of the videos, especially because Caroline will say, oh, there's this bird, and I'll say, I don't even know what that is, and I'll look to see if Richard made a video on it, because it educates me on what I'm supposed to know about these birds, because she just says things so nonchalantly. It's helped her because she's learned more about the birds, such as we said about the cedar waxwing. That was nice to see, and it kind of eased her concerns a little bit, because she was very worried that she was going to see waxwings drunk, or injured.
Well, I always like to learn more about birds because it definitely does help me like learn more about them. And like I always like to go to parks and stuff and like look for where like birds would be. Some birds like water, some birds like the woods, some birds like the dry, bare areas. It's nice to learn like more about the birds because like getting like the perfect picture is definitely like always like your goal.
You see the food out in stores, but when you look it up and you can learn so much more about it and what type of food that you're looking to feed to what type of birds you're trying to attract, I just think it's wonderful. It's just amazing to see her interest in it. I'm so glad that this contest was there for her because it's such excitement around it. And she got to see birds in the contest that she's been trying to get for quite a while. She loved the pictures.
Anyway, I love that story.
Oh, that was
and,
nice.
Yeah, I've got to try to get this volume down. I don't. There I go. There. Okay, I just didn't have it in the right place. We were listening to it, so we wanted to see Caroline's story. Anyway, I enjoyed it so much, right? So we want to hear all your stories. It's interesting to hear how people came about. Like they saw Kohl's in the store, they started buying it, they loved it, kept the squirrels away. But then they found all your videos, and then they found out about the contest. So, you know, everybody comes to it differently, and we'd love to hear your stories. So let's now talk about hummers, right?
Okay. And one of everybody's favorite birds. And,
Aren't they? Yeah.
This is a time of year, the party's over.
Yep.
The baby birds are out. And just as they came into this part of the country from Central America, it's time to go back to their other home
Yep.
for the wintertime. And of course, as I was saying, the people up north, they're already missing a lot of their hummingbirds, if not all of them. And as we move further south, we're seeing more and more birds because all their birds are coming through it. And I kind of like that. It's kind of fun. And so we'll see a surge of birds for a while. As we get into October, that'll taper off somewhat rapidly. And they don't all move at one time. They all have their own little special times to take off. They know when to go.
Yeah, we have a map that'll show you where they are in the United States. Look at that, just a sea of red. And that's all the hummingbirds going through here, right? And isn't it updated all the time?
As you can see, there's very few up in Canada, but there's some up there. There's some hummingbirds all the way up into Alaska on the west coast. And they come all the way back down.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that.
Oh, yeah.
They're all there.
And
but you know what? They're not in these, and they're not much in the Pacific Northwest.
No. And of course, you have generally one species east of the Mississippi River, and that's the ruby-throated hummingbird. And west of the Mississippi River, in general, you have all the other species. There's 12, 13, 14, 8, 15 more that are there a lot, and a few odds and ends that sneak in across the border down there. And every now and then a stray, which gets everybody excited, something that shouldn't be here at all. But yeah, the ruby-throats look like they're taking over the eastern United States.
Yeah, they do. And they're beautiful right now, and they're tanking up, as you like to say, so keep that nectar out and keep it fresh, right?
Yeah, now they've got to keep a lot of fuel on board because there's a long way to get back home, which is Central America. And the ones on the East Coast typically come down and go across the Gulf of Mexico nonstop to get down to Central America. The ones in, further west, mostly go down through Texas.
Yeah.
And then Mexico to get down there, or maybe just skirt the Gulf.
Yeah.
But the ones that leave from over here, if they're from the Atlanta area, and go down like they're going down to the Gulf of Mexico for a vacation.
It's a tough journey.
They've got a nonstop flight all the way across.
I've heard that cruise ships and other ships will put things out so that they can rest, so they can stop and rest.
And they will do that occasionally.
Yeah.
And but they can do this, and they tank up. A ruby-throat will weigh, 2.5 to 3 grams. Yeah. It's a good-sized ruby-throated hummingbird. But this time of year, when they're ready to go and take this southern flight, they have sit around, lounge around, and sucked up as much juice as possible, and insects, of course, because that's their real food.
And spiders,
to pack on the weight, and spiders, lots of spiders. They love spiders. and eat a lot of them. It's go around flowers and picking out the spiders.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the hummingbird juice is just their extra fuel. But they'll burn off a lot of their weight, maybe up to half of their body weight on that one flight.
Wow.
So it's an amazing thing.
Yeah,
And then they get down there and they'll rest and eat and pack on weight down there to fly back. I kind of hate to see them go. I will say one thing real quick though. After your hummingbirds leave, they may not all leave, and you may see some stragglers. Even we've seen some in very early December, ruby throats,
Yeah.
apparently healthy, nothing wrong with them. They were just late migrants. That's the way nature works. You know, if something happens to all the others, that one's going to be one left.
Yeah.
But we also have the chance in the east and the southeast and in Texas to have other species, generally more western species, move into the southeast and south to spend the winter, as opposed to going down to Central America. And we see a lot, and over the last 15 or 20 years, we've investigated a lot and found a lot more species. So as in Georgia, we now have many species, 12, 13 species known to be in Georgia. It used to be one, which was the ruby throat. But now we're finding in the wintertime, we'll find all the other hummingbirds here, very, very widely spread out. Still kind of rare to find one, but it's nice. So we always tell everybody, keep a feeder out in the wintertime. It doesn't stop them from going anywhere at all. And you may get one, if there's one around in your area, you may get one to spend the winter with you.
Yeah.
Can't hurt, might help.
How fun. And they're such cute guests to have. Listen, we are almost out of time. We've only got a couple of minutes left. Is there anything else that you want to say? Because we got these videos we want to show also.
Okay, well, one thing I
Anything
do
you
want
wanna-
to,
Okay.
one thing, why we feed the birds, you know,
Why do we?
yeah.
Because we love it.
It
love to
feels
attract
good.
them.
It makes us feel good.
Yeah.
We're helping them and all.
Right.
But you're going to all this trouble to feed the birds and take care of the birds. I find myself doing all of that, doing the busy work with the birds, doing everything else, and failing to just stop and watch and enjoy all the birds that are coming to the feeders. Because I'm rushing around this. So take a deep breath, and maybe once a day, just take a few minutes. Just go sit down and watch your feeder and enjoy the birds that are coming and living their lives. Just enjoy watching them. Because that's what you're doing the work for. And you've drawn these birds in so you can watch them. Enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good thought to leave us with. That is wonderful. I have a couple of notes from my phone that I'm looking at where people made comments. And Alita Culling is asking how to receive the Kohl's calendar for 2025. I'll check on that and get back to you. Sometimes we sell them in stores, sometimes we sell them online, but I will get back to you. And if you made the calendar, you will receive a calendar or maybe two in the mail. I'm not sure on that. And Alsut says, looks like the extra bird in the December photo is goldfinch with winter colors. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, I think that's all the time we have, so we are going to leave you with a video of the pictures in the Kohl's calendar and all the semifinalists. And I know you feel the same way I do. Just thank you so much to everyone who entered and took part in this contest. It was so much fun, amazing pictures.
And we never thought this calendar would be really so good. I'll say that modestly, but so good. But it's you guys that have done this.
Absolutely, yes.
And we didn't hire a bunch of fancy photographers to go out and do this. It's the customers.
Yeah.
People who love the birds have done this and sent them in so we could do the calendar.
Yeah, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's always my favorite thing that we do all year long. So thank you all for participating.
And start sending them in. Don't take winter pictures also.
Right,
Don't wait till springtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good time to take pictures. Yeah. We'll see you next time here on For the Birds with Richard Cole.
Hello, this is Richard Cole. I want to thank each of you for watching, and I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share it.